Recent events such as Russia's war in Ukraine and the rise of interest rates have brought attention to the dynamic and ever-changing nature of the financial world. No matter how much research and analysis is conducted, predicting the direction of the market is a complex and challenging task. With unexpected events and trends influencing investor behavior, even the most seasoned experts can find themselves surprised by sudden shifts in the market. And in this video, let's talk about what American investor Ray Dalio has warned all of us about the financial market. Hey friends, welcome to Capitalista. Before we dive in, please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. And now, let's get started. According to Ray Dalio, the economy may seem complex, but at its core, it's a simple transaction between two parties, the buyer and the seller. The buyer can purchase goods or services with either money or credit, and the seller earns income from that transaction. However, when credit is used, it creates a liability that must be repaid, which could lead to a cycle of debt and deleveraging. Dalio explains that during a deleveraging period, a combination of transfer of wealth, austerity, debt, write-downs, and money printing is necessary to bring down the debt-to-income ratio. Finding the right balance between these actions can result in successful deleveraging and a return to economic growth. While there are many moving parts to the economy, understanding the basics of transactions, debt, and deleveraging can simplify the overall picture. At the heart of the economy lies a fundamental concept, which is spending. This simply means that we engage in a transaction when we purchase goods, services, or financial assets. We can make these purchases using either money or credit. Even if we use money, the transaction ends with the purchase and we do not owe anything further. However, if we use credit, we take on an obligation to repay the debt, which creates a liability. It's worth noting that measuring demand in the economy is best done in terms of spending rather than the quantity of goods purchased. This is because what we give up in a purchase is money or credit, not physical goods. Spending patterns change as we move through economic cycles, and debt levels can rise or fall. When there is not much debt, we can borrow money and increase spending. This has a positive effect on income and creates a self-reinforcing cycle. However, if debt rises too quickly, it can lead to a deleveraging process, which can result in austerity measures and debt restructuring. In economics, credit plays a significant role in shaping the economy. As explained by Ray Dalio, credit can be created out of thin air, which can lead to a credit cycle. The basic economic transaction involves purchasing a good or service, which can be made with money or credit. The transaction is complete when a purchase is made with money, and there is no obligation to deliver anything further. However, when a purchase is made with credit, a liability is created, and the obligation to deliver money is established. When there is not much debt in an economy, people can borrow money, which leads to increased spending and income for others. This positive cycle becomes self-reinforcing and creates a credit cycle. However, the economy enters a debt cycle as debt rises faster than income, and to stop that debt cycle, interest rates are typically lower, which positively affects debt servicing, the cost of buying on credit, and the present value of assets. However, when interest rates can no longer be lowered, the economy enters a deleveraging phase involving a combination of austerity, debt restructuring, and money printing. Ultimately, the balance of these factors determines whether the deleveraging process is successful. The most critical factor is ensuring that the nominal growth rate in GDP exceeds the nominal interest rate over time. When credit is created out of thin air, it can lead to a credit cycle, ultimately leading to a deleveraging phase. In simple terms, when we borrow more than we earn, we enter into a deleveraging cycle. This means that we have to start paying back our debts, which can decrease spending and economic activity. If this cycle goes on too long, it can lead to depression. Let's say you earn $100,000 a year and have no debt. You can borrow $10,000 a year and spend a total of $110,000. However, if you continue to borrow more than you earn, eventually you'll have to start paying back those debts. This means you'll have less money to spend in the future, which can lead to decreased economic activity. If this cycle goes on too long, it can lead to depression. This is when people are afraid to spend money because they're worried about the future. Businesses may also be hesitant to invest because they are not sure if they'll be able to make a profit. This can lead to a vicious cycle of decreased economic activity and even more debt. To prevent this from happening, we need to be careful about how much debt we take on. We need to make sure that we're not borrowing more than we can afford to pay back. Otherwise, we risk entering a deleveraging cycle that can lead to depression. When an economy experiences a deleveraging process, there are a few ways to tackle the debt issue. One option is to transfer wealth, which means moving resources from the wealthy to the less fortunate. Another approach is austerity, which involves cutting back on spending to reduce the amount of debt. A third possibility is debt write-downs, which means reducing the debt owed. Finally, printing money can inject cash into the system, making it easier for people to pay off their debts. However, the best way to handle the leveraging is to balance these options. Combining them correctly makes it possible to bring down the debt-to-income ratio without causing undue harm to the economy. For example, if austerity measures are too severe, they could lead to depression. On the other hand, if too much money is printed, it could lead to runaway inflation. In a nutshell, when it comes to the leveraging, the key is to have a nominal growth rate in GDP that is higher than the nominal interest rate. This means that we need to print enough money to produce sustainable growth. Unfortunately, many policymakers make the mistake of targeting inflation and growth without considering debt growth relative to income growth and sustainability. Printing money can help stimulate growth and create a positive cycle. However, if the interest rates on the debt are higher than the GDP growth rate, it can lead to compounding debt and negative consequences. Therefore, we must focus on managing debt growth and ensuring that it aligns with income growth and sustainability. Excessive debt growth used for purchasing financial assets can lead to economic bubbles. These bubbles can ultimately result in deleveraging, which can cause depression. This was evident in the 1929 bubble and the 2007 financial crisis, where debt accumulated to purchase financial assets that could not be sustained. It is crucial for policymakers to pay attention to debt growth relative to income growth and sustainability rather than solely focusing on inflation and growth targets. Failure to do so can result in risky situations threatening the economy's stability. So what do you think about Ray Dalio's perspective on the economy and the leveraging? Do you agree or disagree with his approach? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And that's it for today's video. Thank you for tuning in to the end. We appreciate your support and hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload from us. Your engagement helps us bring you even more exciting content in the future. Until next time, and take care.